So I will present myself first, and after I will let Cyprien present himself and Kardomance and everything. So I am Yann Thibaudier, alias Taitu, head of content at Kardomance. So what it means is that I'm working on different roles. I am working as game designer, and also I help balancing the game. But I am also working on creation of content, such as YouTube videos, for example, that you have seen with the class presentation. And also I am working on events for the community, such as puzzle events, for example, that we have on our Discord server right now. On my background, I have been a card game player for 20 years, maybe more. I've played them all, Magic, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, HearthStone, The Gwent, Legend of Runeterra, The Elder Scrolls Legend, and more, Gods Unchained, and even more. So I know really well the card game, but as a player, but also as a YouTuber, as a streamer, also as a competitive player, and even as a caster. I cast some tournament for Legend of Runeterra. I was part of the official French cast for the first World Championships of Legend of Runeterra. And I also teach game design in school for a few years, and I also work with content creator for a company before coming to Kardomance, basically. That's it. I will let Cyprien present himself and the game now.
Thank you, Yann. Thank you for this presentation. And what you need to say to our audience today is that you've also won a lot of prizes on tournaments on Legend of Runeterra. So when we will do some events and maybe tournaments on the game, if he play on the tournament, he will be really dangerous and he will be a man to survey because he can of course win that. But as we playtest also a lot the game, I think all the team will be dangerous on that kind of tournament. But thank you, Yann. I will present myself. So I'm Cyprien Claudez. I'm the CEO and game director of Kardomance. I can say a bit about my background, and after that I can present Kardomance in more detail. So I started my career as a digital marketer on big company here in France, and after that I had the first experience on entrepreneurship where I started the first company. The name of it was Kardomance. Was Maginate, sorry. And Maginate was a company where we did teaching on digital marketing, but also helping a lot of French companies on those kind of topics. And yes, that was a really awesome experience that also worked very well, but I didn't want to work in that domain and I wanted to create something maybe bigger than just Maginate. And that's maybe why I started to look on the Web3 and the possibilities that offers. I always wanted to create something on the video game industry. I also take courses on my spare time on game design. I'm really obsessed about game design, and also something on the game design which is the replayability, to try to make each game unique. And this is something we've tried to bring for Kardomance, but also for the other game we plan in the future. And it's pretty much about my previous experience. And today my day-to-day job at Kardomance is actually different things, is to coordinate the team on the different priority of the company. And my job as a game director is to like a chef d'orchestre, like we say in French, but in English I don't know how to say it, but it's to manage everything about which is related to the launch of our game. So it can be about the trailer, it can be about the game design, of course, it can be of course about the game development, and pretty much everything that touch about the launch of the game. Of course, I'm not an expert on all that domain, but we have an awesome team on game design with Jan and the other people that work with us on the game design, also on the game development. So it's really nice to work with that kind of expert, and also much easier for me, of course, because I just have to correct some small little thing, and that's really interesting and really fun to do this company. And I think we have a team right now of passionate people, and it's really nice to work with them.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. So I don't know if you want to tell us more a little bit about Kardomance, and because we also have one question that didn't really enter in all the category, we can ask the question now. Why Kardomance as a name? Why did you choose this name for Kardomance?
That's a good question. In fact, I'm not a guy that think that the name need to mean something. So Kardomance is a mix between cartomancy. I was doing magic when I was young, so I like the magic with the card, and I think that's a word that show that emotion, that feeling you can have when you manipulate the card. So cartomancy, the making magic with cards, and this is really what we want with Kardomance. And with a K, it's also give a sense of kingdom. Finally, kingdom, the kingdom of Kardomance, and we will reveal a bit of the lore at the end of the stream. So you will also see this is a part, the Duchy of Cardia, which is a part of the map of the world of Amaluria, which is the world where Kardomance and the game and the future game are taking place. So yeah, it's the kingdom of Kardomance, the kingdom of cartomancy, finally.
Okay, perfect. So then I guess we can start with the AMA. If you want to switch, we will start with different categories. As I said, you can see on the bar above that we have a lot of categories to cover. If there is something that we didn't answer, you can ask question in the chat. Already not one question in the chat, so we will try to ask this question on the road. And the first category is the roadmap, because we received a lot of questions about the roadmap, such as when the beta will be released, how is the development of the game going, why is the alpha was delayed a little bit, for example. So I guess, Cyprien, if you want to explain a little bit where we are with the project right now and what are the next steps, especially in terms of gameplay, when the beta will launch, the closed beta, when will be the alpha 2.0, and also about the NFT sales, for example, when it will happen and where.
Yes, sure. Let's start with that. So yeah, of course, we had a lot of questions with that, and we know that people can't wait to play the game, and it's really hard to wait. And as we are all gamers here, I think it's the same for us too. When we are waiting for a game, it's really hard, and the wait can be really long. So right now, our priority on the game development is to improve the juice, the player feedback on the game. So we have really a small visual correction and bug to fix on that, and we also have to add some cards. Not all cards are implemented in the game right now, so we plan the launch on the closed beta at the end of the year, so in December. On that closed beta, this is the first wave of the closed beta. You will have the possibility to play only with the 5 starter deck, so one starter deck per classes. So for instance, we have the 5 classes, so the ferocious deck, the magic deck, the chaos deck, which is one of my favorites. We have the primal deck, and I'm forgetting one, the virtuous deck, of course. Virtuous is the last class we've revealed this week. So on that closed beta, you will not have the deck building part, which will not be available on the first launch of the game at the end of this year. After that, we will launch the second wave on the closed beta on the second wave, so it will be accessible to the people we will select because they are part of the guild, because they have buy some NFT from us because they are supporting the project since long time. So it will be also a way for us to reward some people, but also to have some experimented people to give us feedback, of course, as beta testers. So this second wave on the closed beta will be on January 2023. Of course, there will be the deck building part on it. And after that, at the end of the first trimester, I don't know if it's correct. So it basically in March 2023, it will be the open beta with blockchain integration and everything. So it will be really the full experience of Kardomance and the experience as we want to deliver it to you. Maybe a last thing on the roadmap, which is really important, is that in 11 days, we have our first ever NFT sale that will take place on the marketplace of our partner Ultra. So on the 26th of October. And it will be, we will talk a bit about it, but we can't say too much on this stream today because we want to do a cross-marketing operation and not announce it first and Ultra announce it later. So we want to be as coordinated as possible to announce it with Ultra, but it will come, the big announcement will be the next week and it will be really fun. And we have prepared something really fun, really with a lot of utility, but also cosmetic part for the NFT. And we are pretty sure that you will enjoy what we have to come with that NFT collection. I cut my mic, Jan, and you can.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Don't forget to move to the next slide so we know we are on the roadmap. But thanks for the answer. We still have some questions to cover in this part because we received some questions in the chat during this part. Two questions actually. How long the beta will be? For example, do we have one complete month or specific hour to play during the beta? And another question was how to be involved in the beta, how to be selected for the beta.
Okay, there is several ways to. I take the first question first. So about the first wave of the beta, yes, it will be really exclusive to some people. So we wanted to have some times where you can play the game on this first wave of the beta, because if it's open and you can play at any time of the day, of course the risk is that you wait 10-15 minutes to find an opponent, so the experience, the user experience, you will not be fun, of course. So we wanted to restrict it to some timing for you to play. The second question about how to be involved on the beta, there is several ways to do it. So the first one is to be whitelisted for the second wave of the beta. You can also participate in the launch of our NFT collection. Each buying of NFT will be associated to the possibility to play during the beta. The third way to play it is to contact directly the team and to say that you are motivated to play on this beta and to say why you will help us on that, maybe by communicating, maybe by showing content on your different networks, maybe by saying that you are really experimented on card games and everything and give you interesting feedbacks. And we will also give beta access to the people that support us since long time, and we will also do some some contests. Finally, we have a lot of contests that will come, so it will be also a way for you to have a chance to grab beta access.
Okay, thank you. So I guess it's enough for the roadmap. Everybody understood the different date. If you did not, we will have probably a recap soon of the roadmap, so you can know exactly when will be the beta, the first access to the beta, the second access, and when will be the open beta after that. But I think we cover everything for that. So we can
maybe
move
Jan,
to the...
Jan, I have just one thing. I think it could be interesting for us to share also the vision of the company, that we are not just Kardomance, but we are really more than that. Do you want me to talk about it right now, or maybe we want to and we keep it a bit for later? What do you think is the best option?
I think we can keep it when we will talk about the lore, maybe. But just to say that we are not a company that want to build just one game, but we want to build a universe, a complete universe with a different game, of course, in the long term. So, of course, when we'll talk a little bit about the lore, we will discuss the universe when all the game will take place in the future.
Okay, yes, I wasn't sure if you wanted to keep it for the end of the stream, so when we will talk about the lore, it will be really interesting, and we will try to share also our vision on the NFT gaming and what we are trying to achieve with the company. So yeah, please stay with us with on all the stream, and at the end of it we will reveal some element of the lore and also the map of Amaluria, which is, as I said, the world where we are building the game right now, which is created with world builders, writers, and of course our team of illustrators. Yann, maybe a last thing. We have 4 NFT cards to make win during this stream. You decide when we will launch the first giveaway, so you tell me when you are ready for it, and we can launch it.
Well, I guess we can go over the gameplay before, so everybody understand a little bit more about the gameplay, and so you will more appreciate the cards that we are offering if you know a little bit about the gameplay. And after that, we can start with the first giveaway. Twitch viewer can win too. Yeah, it's Twitch viewers that can win for this 4 cards giveaway. So it's just Twitch viewer. Only one thing, if you want to participate to the giveaway, you need to follow the channel, but it's free. So don't forget to follow the channel. And because we will have more and more video on this channel in the future for discussing about the game, but also for playtesting the game, we will show some playtest of the game here, and also for the next tournament we will talk about eSport in a little bit, but we will also cast them on this channel, so don't forget to follow the channel, of course. So about the gameplay, if you have questions about the gameplay, don't hesitate to ask now, but we received some of them already. The first one that we received is what are the differences compared to other card games such as HearthStone or Gods Unchained, for example. So I guess it's cool. It will be great to explain a little bit. First, I will talk for this part because it's a big part of my job, so I will talk for this part. First, compared to HearthStone or other Web 2 game, of course, the big difference is that we are a TCG and not a CCG. So for the ones that don't really know the card game or the difference between this term, when we started playing card games in paper, a lot of time, it was a lot of time, we played TCG, meaning trading card game, because we were buying the card, playing with them, but we were able to trade them, sell them, give them to somebody else. And when the card game become digital with HearthStone, for example, of course, we lost this aspect of trading card game and we become a CCG, a collectible card game, where you can buy cards, play with them, but after that, you don't own the card, you can sell it, you can trade it, you can rent it to someone else. So we lost a big aspect of the collection that you can trade and do something else with it. And of course, with Web3 and NFTs, we are able now to come back to this kind of TCG trading card game. So we are not the only one doing this, of course. Gods Unchained starts with the way, and there is other. But we come back to TCG. Trading card game where you can trade, you can own your card. So it's one of the big difference with Web 2. I know that a lot of you already know that, but it's important to say that we are trying to come back to the basic of card games where you own your own cards.
I would like just, Yann, I would like just to add a little thing on that. So of course, owning cards and trading cards was a part of the fun on paper card game. But there is also an important thing is that on paper card game, the supply finally of the card was directly linked to the rarity of the card. So for instance, if you go at the supermarket to buy some Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon cards, if you open a super rare card, of course it will be printed in less copies than a common card. And this is really important because with the NFT, we have the possibility to bring that. And this, I think it was also a question that we had on the chat. So yes, we have a limited supply for the NFT cards, and the supply depends on the rarity of the card. So legendary card, for instance, is 1,000 copies, and a common card is 10,000 copies. But I think every thing of what I say is detailed on the on our light paper. Sorry. So if you want to check that, you can. But so yes, we wanted to come back to a model more close to what we had with paper card game, with the possibility of trading the card, of course, as said Jan, but also with a limited supply on certain cards, which is really interesting in terms of economy and trading aspect of the game.
Yes. Okay. So now about the gameplay, because it was an important part to compare with Web 2 card games, but I want also to talk about card games in general. What is the difference that we are working on? Maybe you can show the gameplay slide a little bit, but one, we have different innovative mechanisms that we are trying to bring to this game, and we think the game is really fun because of it. The first one is we have a split board, so we have two sides of the board, bringing a more strategic aspect to it, because we created a lot of cards with this aspect of strategy where you have to choose which side of the board you are playing. So of course we are not the only game doing that. There is the Elder Scrolls Legend doing also a game with split board, if you know a little bit about card games. But we feel that we are trying to focus really to bring a big strategic aspect on this two parts of the board. And because what we want really with this card game is that it's skills that matter. So you can learn the game really easily, but if you want to be the best one, it's not about luck, it's about skills that we want. And we will talk a little bit more about that when we talk about eSport. But we feel that this split board really bring a lot of strategic aspect to the game. And we also have other innovative mechanism, more targeted to also strategic aspect, but replayability, because we feel that it's something in card game that can be a little bit frustrating sometimes, is that if you play a card game for 100, 200 games with the same deck, you really feel that you are always playing the same stuff, and that if you don't have your turn 1 on turn 1 or your turn 3 or turn 3, you lose the game versus this matchup. And it feels that it's always the same situation actually, and you don't really have to adapt to the situation. So with that, we bring two mechanisms that will feel great for this replayability aspect. The first one is the talents that we already presented in the video. It means that it's like during the game, your hero will evolve, and you will have new power for your deck. So on specific turn of the game, you will have to choose between three choices that will be presented to you of talents that will give you a different strategy and a different way to win. We presented some in the class presentation video, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, you could look a little bit at that. And of course, it's not always the same talents that will be presented to you. So you need to adapt with the talents that are presented to you and to choose the best one based on the situation, based on what your opponent is playing, and based on what talents are presented to you. And you can't always have just the same game plan. You have to adapt. The other part
Jan, maybe we can, to that I would like to give an example of that. For instance, the magic class, where you play with a lot of spell and spellcaster, of course. With that kind of talent, you really want to specialize yourself. And so, for instance, you will specialize yourself. Of course, you will consider what your opponent have in play, what you have in hand, and what you have in play to specialize efficiently and smartly. And for instance, I will just give you two ways to specialize with those talents on the magic class. For instance, you can specialize on casting a lot of spells with a talent that will damage your opponent each time you cast a spell. So this is spellcaster specialization, we can call it like that, where you will try to play the most the most spells possible on each turn. But you can also specialize another way, which is really interesting and is like anti-game plan, where you can trying to make your opponent discard cards every turn. So it's really interesting because at the end of the game, your opponent have like 0 cards on the end, and it's really funny to play with someone like that. And on playtest session, we had really a lot of fun with that. So it's also another way to specialize. And for instance, it will be really interesting to have that kind of specialization with the talent if you play with against an aggressive deck. Who will play several cards per turn. So if he don't adapt, he will die really quickly. So yeah, those talents are really interesting to bring replayability and adaptability to the game. I'll let you continue, Jan.
Yeah. Okay. So because there is question about the talents in the chat, where do you decide your talents and everything? I will just talk a little bit more about it. So you decide during the game. You will have 3 phases where you can choose a talent. So in total, you can have 3 talents at the end of the game. So we play test with different turns, but in general, it's we didn't decide exactly yet the turns because we are still play testing where it's the best way to have the talents. But something like turns 3, turn 5, turn 8, for example, you can choose the talents, and it will give you a new way to play. So it's not at the start of the game, it will be during the game that you will have talents. And of course, the 3 talents stack together. So the first talent that you select doesn't leave when you choose the second one, and the second one doesn't leave when you choose the third one. You will have 3 talents at the end of the game. Also we have talents with different strength. So of course, at the beginning of the game, you can choose between talents that are not too strong, and in the middle of the game, the choice is between talents that are a little bit stronger, and at the end, again, a little bit stronger. So you don't have a really powerful talents at the beginning of the game, and you have a more powerful at the end of the game, basically. So it was about talents, but we have also one other mechanism that we didn't reveal yet, and we are still working on, but it's pretty cool and it increases the replayability a lot. It's the Cataclysm. The Cataclysm, it's something that you will choose at the beginning of the game. So at the beginning of the game, you and your opponent will choose a Cataclysm. It's an event that will happen during the game. And for example, if you choose the Cataclysm Armageddon, it means that at turn 8, all creatures on the board will be destroyed. So yours and also the opponent one. And so you choose that at the beginning of the game, but both players know that at turn 8, this Cataclysm will happen. So you have to choose a Cataclysm that help you a little bit more than your opponent based on what deck you are playing. But because both players know what will happen, you have to adapt since the beginning of the game. You have to adapt based on what Cataclysm will happen. So we have Cataclysms that happen at the beginning of the game. For example, we have one Cataclysm which called Mana Surge that happen at the beginning of the game, and it means just that for all the game, both players have 1 more mana. So you start at 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And we have Cataclysms that happen really late in the game, but which are, of course, stronger. And with this mechanic, you have to really play around that and decide what you will do. So it's really great because even if you are versus the same matchup ever and ever and ever, it will never feel to be the same game because of this cataclysm and this talents. So yeah, it's like it's said in the chat, it's like infinite possible games, which is really great to play and feel really fun, and also it feel really rewarding if you are adapting to your game and if you are not just following your game plan from the start.
Exactly, and it will also lead to something more interesting to watch, and this is also a big dimension we want to have in our games. It's to have something that people will enjoy to watch on Twitch and also to watch big tournaments with big casters, because today if you watch like the final of the world on HearthStone, honestly it's not really fun to watch. So with that kind of talents and also cataclysm, it makes the game really funny to watch. So yeah, it was also another aspect of the game we wanted to work on, to have a card game which is as fun to watch as, I don't know, a MOBA, for instance.
Yes, so we received a lot of questions in the chat. As I said at the beginning of the MAA, we will answer them, but in the specific categories, we received some questions about the gameplay. Maybe we can put back our face because everybody have already seen the little video behind.
I just answer one question because it's really easy to understand. It's a question from Meeple77. Do you think it will also become a TCG in real life one day? Honestly, the answer is no, because even if we like a lot board games, we are playtesting the game in a paper version, but the game is not adapted to be played on the physical version. So
yeah, perfect. So we have other question about the gameplay. I don't know if you can put back our camera. Maybe it will be more friendly for our user. We received, for example, so what is the spec to play the game? So we don't know yet exactly what is the spec. We have to run some tests to see which computer can run it and which can't. For now, we didn't try it yet, but we will let you know when we know about the spec. But it's a card game, so it's not like you need to run a war machine. Our card subject to change. So yes, we allow us a little period of time when an extension come to change a card and be sure that it's great. So you know that there is a period of time where a card can change, because we know, of course, it will change the price of the card if you nerf a card. But because we want to be a really competitive game, we need a lot of balance. But we have also other way to balance the game. For example, we can just create cards that counter the first card if it's too strong. So we don't need to change a lot the cards that are already existing. And we will let you know the longer the period is, but it will not be too long. And also, because we have talents and cataclysms that are really changing the game, we don't need to nerf a lot of cards, because we can just change the talent and the cataclysm, and maybe it will change the value, the strength of a card by doing it. We also receive, is there a fatigue mechanism? So yeah, it will be a fatigue mechanism. For now, we have tested different fatigue mechanism, but one like HearthStone seemed pretty great. So, but we can do a damage based on unspent mana, as it was asked, and what is the case in Gods Unchained. But for now, we tested like HearthStone. So it means if you have no card in your deck, the first turn that you have to draw, you take 1 damage, the second turn 2 damage, and so on and so on. But we are still changing this fatigue mechanism, because right now we don't have a lot of decks that come to the fatigue mechanism. We lose or win a little bit before, but it's a mechanism that we are still play testing.
Jan, I saw that the clock is turning. Maybe we should do the first giveaway of this AMA session. So remember, we will have 4 of it. We don't need to leave too late. It was initially we planned an AMA of 1 hour. We are pretty sure that we will do more than that, but for my part, I can stay 2 hours. So we need to to watch the timer. Okay, let's do the first win. Jan, can you explain how people can win and what they have to do to participate in the giveaway?
Yeah, sure. So tonight we'll give away 4 different cards. There is some rare and there is an uncommon common card also. So there is different rarities. To enter the raffle, when we will say the raffle start, you just have to write !raffle, and it will last for 5 minutes. At the end of the 5 minutes, we will know the winner. And the winner will just win 1 NFT card. So we can present the card that we have to win. The first one that we will give away, it's a common one. It's the ghoul that we already present in the Chaos class presentation. Maybe Cyprien, if you are able to show. Yeah, it's this card. So it's a common. It's not really a really expensive card, of course, because it's a common, but still it's a card that you will be able to play when the game starts. If you already win it. That puzzle was a challenge, and thank you. So if Cyprien, you are ready to start the first giveaway, we will receive a message in the chat, and that's it. And after, you just have to write !raffle, something like that. When so Cyprien,
I've launched it, but it's loading. Let's wait a bit.
Okay. It's loading. So don't write it now. It's not yet started. You will receive a message in the chat before it starting. I can keep answering some question in the meantime, and Cyprien will fix this issue, I'm sure. So I have other questions that I have received. One was if we will have some voice when a creature enters the board, who attack or die, or some little mechanism like in HearthStone that give a feeling that the game is more alive. Of course, we will have it. We will have some special effect on different action on the board, so don't worry. It will not be... You don't feel that you are playing a dead game, but you will really have an environment outside of it. And other questions that we received, we also received how many cards will be ready for the private beta. So Cyprien answered a little bit. For the private beta, it will be 5 decks. So you won't have to build your deck during the private beta, but you will have the choice between 5 decks that you can play. So I don't know exactly how many cards is it, but for the open beta, we will have the first set ready, and the first set will consist of approximately 300 cards. Not all of them will be NFTs. We will have approximately 175 NFTs and 125 cards that won't be NFTs, but that you can have at the beginning of the game, or that you can unlock just by playing it.
Okay, guys, the raffle have started. I saw also friend Niers is on the stream. So hello, Niers. And you just have to type raffle with the exclamation point before, like I've done many people. And also, to win, you also have to follow us. So don't forget to follow us. And the raffle timing is 5 minutes. So you will have the answer on who won this first one on 5 minutes. So let's go, guys. It's really funny to do that.
Okay, we are almost at the end of the question about the gameplay, because we have a lot other aspects to cover. I wanted to talk a little bit about the classes, but maybe we won't have time, and the video about classes come soon. I just wanted to say that we have 5 classes. I saw the question in the chat. We have 5 classes for the beta and when the game will start. But of course, over time we will add more classes, and we are already working on 2 more classes. So don't worry, we will have more than just 5 classes in a few years, months, years. We will have more. And the classes, what is great is that the classes can have different gameplay. So you don't feel that one class can do one stuff, but classes can do several stuff based on the talents that you use, the cards that you use. So you are not limited to one gameplay with one classes, with one class. How many cards you have in hand and how many cards you have on the board at what time? So in the end, you can have a total of 10 cards. You start with 4 to 5 cards. We are still figuring it out. But you can have a total of 10 cards in hand before discarding the cards that you draw. And on the board, we are still also trying different configuration, but we are thinking about 5 to 6 creatures on each side. So it means a total of 10 to 12. So that's it. So I saw the question about Ultra game, but we have a part especially about NFT X Ultra, so we will answer to it on the Ultra part. I guess we talk enough about gameplay, and it's my part, so I really like that you ask so many questions about gameplay, but the time is running, so we'll try to answer also other aspects. And we can move to the economy of the game, even if we already answer it. But we can move to the economy if you want, Cyprien. And
Perfect. Let's go.
I can answer the first question if you want, but you can answer the other after. We received question about is the game going to be free to play or accessible for free to play player? Yes, you can play the game even if you are free to play, you don't own NFTs, and actually even if you don't have a wallet, you will be able to play the game. So the goal is really to make a game fun and play by a lot of people. So we are trying to not grab just Web3 player, but also Web2 player to come to the game, even if they are not really used to the blockchain and everything. So you can play as a free-to-play, you can win cards as free-to-play, you can win non-NFT card and also NFT cards as free-to-play during specific events. But of course, if you have NFT cards, you have a chance to be stronger depending on your skill, because we base that on your skill. But of course, you have more weapons in hand to be stronger if you buy NFT cards. And
on that point, it's really like a classical card game. So of course, if you play on competitive scene, if you play against players that have all the cards that exist on the extension, of course they will be not more strong, because you can have more skills than us, but they will have more possibilities than you. So yeah, it's important to have that in mind. But we wanted, and it's really our focus, to make the game fun to play even for free-to-play players. So the ranking system will not put you against players that have all the cards and you have only free-to-play cards, so which are non-NFT cards. And we have also different events that are like free events that are accessible to free-to-play players, but of course to other players.
Okay, thank you, Cyprien. The raffle is ended, so if you want to pick a winner, and we will see who wins the first raffle, who wins the goal. So we have also a question also about economy, and we have one in the chat actually.
We have the winner, which it is the Penguin Wave. So congrats, man! You won the first NFT card, which is the Heart-Eater Ghoul. Can you please send us your Discord tag in the Twitch, so we so we can add you on the winner list, and you will receive the NFT with the launch of our booster packs.
Congrats to you. So we have other question about economy. some ask the price about the packs. It's something that we can't say yet. Still work in progress, but you will know really soon. And actually,
Actually, I can say a bit about it. We will be really close to paper card game on the pricing, so it will be a bit expensive than that, but we'll be really close to that.
Okay, perfect. And
To answer, we don't want to create an Axie Infinity like. We hate that kind of model. This is clearly not the plan to create something like this. So it will be really, reasonable finally.
So we have also a question about the money. So I will ask them to you because you are the one working on it, Cyprien, and I can't really answer them all, but I will ask them to you and you can answer. So you talk about a little bit about the economic model. I don't know if you want to say a little bit more about it.
Yeah, sure. So basically our economic model is divided in two parts. The first part is the selling of NFT cards. So we take money only on the primary market. So we don't take any percentage on the secondary market. So we sell the NFT cards on each new extension. So we basically launch one big extension per year, and we sell all the NFT booster packs of the extension. And after that, we don't take any more money. You are free to trade the cards, to offer them, to rent them, to really create, to do what you want and to exploit your card like you want. So this is the first part of the economic model. The second part, just one thing, is that for the economic model, I only talk for Kardomance because we have also other games that will come in the next years. And the economic model will not be the same. For instance, we have our second game, Rise of Baal, that come in 2023, which are a game when you will have the possibility to only buy cosmetic NFT, and there will be it will be really a game free-to-play oriented. So the only thing that you will be able to buy for this game, for Rise of Baal, is cosmetic items. So it's really a free-to-play game, and you will not have advantage on buying NFT, etc. So, and of course, our second way to earn money for the company is to sell cosmetic items, and this is also the case for Kardomance in the forms of a battle pass, but also sometimes some skin, special edition skin that will be really how to say that, really a collection that will be limited on time.
Yeah, we have skin for cards, but also we will have some skin for the battleground, for the board. You will have skin for the back of the card. So yeah, we will be able to sell other skin that will not give you an advantage during the game, but that can raise a little bit money for you. It can improve the aestheticism of your game. So another question that I saw in the chat: will there be in-game economy or money?
I think you are talking about token. This was something that we are thinking a lot with the team, and we are not completely sure on what we want to do on that. We know that a game with only NFT is really more healthy in terms of economic model. So we want to tend to that, but we would like also to bring a kind of token, but more stable with less volatility, that is linked to the to the lore of the game, and also to connect our different games. So let's say we have Iron, for instance, and with that Iron you can craft NFT cards on Kardomance. You can improve the quality of NFT items, cosmetic items for Rise of Baal, and everything. So we want to create, maybe a bit of entrepreneurship and way to exploit different things and to connect our different games with so a token or something else. We are not if token is not the best option, we will not create a token, and we need to think about that. If we do that, we will not do it to make money. So it's important. It will not be a token for a token that we want it to take value. We don't want to create a Bitcoin like or something like that. We don't want to be inflationist. We only want it to be useful for the gameplay part. So we have a lot of other way to win money for the company. So we don't want to do that. And if we do something like that, it will be to reward players or to bring something interesting on the gameplay.
Perfect. I don't know if you have more question about economy. We already answered about one question that was asked about supply, limited supply, and if we still can get them as free-to-play player, because we say that you can win, you can earn NFT card as NFT player. So yes, you can have cards that are limited in supply, because all card NFT will be limited in supply in a certain amount. So we already answered that. I don't know if you see more questions in the chat, because there is a lot of questions, so I maybe missed some. There is question about arena entrance fee and rewards that we are not decided yet exactly the price, but the reward will be some packs or NFT cards. But we didn't decide yet the entrance fees.
Just Jan, I have only 20 minutes left for the IMA.
Yeah.
So my proposition is that we will launch the second raffle, and we will try to launch them directly, so we can win the four NFT if it's okay for you.
Yeah, perfect. You can start the second raffle. So the second raffle will be for another NFT card. This time it will be a rare card, and it will be a card that you've already seen if you watch the last presentation video. It will be for an apprentice healer, which is a card that can heal your other card with this ability. And it's a card that you will. It's a healer fan knight. It's not okay. I was thinking that it was the apprentice healer, but it's the healer fan. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, Jan. I think there was a bit of misunderstanding here, but that's okay. It's also a rare card, which I like a lot. And on the playtest session, we managed to make it 8/8, so 8 attack, 8 HP. So it's really a fun card to play. You have 5 minutes, guys, to enter the raffle, so don't forget to type raffle on the chat, and we can go to
So, and during this time we can directly go to the next categories. So because there is still a lot to cover, so maybe we can go to the NFT sales. And then if we already talk a little bit about it, but you ask a lot of questions about blockchain and about the partnership with Ultra. So maybe it's good to answer this question during the raffle. You can maybe answer, Cyprien, both questions at the same time. What blockchain are you launching on? So we already talked a little bit about Ultra. And other questions that we received a lot in the Discord was, is this... we will have more than one blockchain, which one, etc. And the other stuff that a lot of person ask is, why do you choose Ultra as a partner? So maybe if you can answer both this question, it would be great.
Sure. So yeah, of course, we have chosen to partner with Ultra, and this will be the first blockchain we will be available on. And it's so Ultra, go discover it. It's really a platform like, I like to call it the Steam of the blockchain, so for NFT games. So it's really Ultra is really interesting for us, because it really match to a vision of making Web3 gaming accessible to everyone. And yes, our opinion is that classic gaming and NFT gaming will merge on the next years. So yeah, Ultra is really perfect on anticipating that, and to having something really user-friendly, beautiful, and also to make us win a lot of time on integrating blockchain interaction in our games, because they have an SDK which connect to our Unity game and allows us to not have to start from scratch to code blockchain interaction in our game. So it's really perfect for that. So it makes us to have the perfect ecosystem to launch our games. And also, it's really a pleasure to work with Ultra. We really have a good relationship with their team. And they come like every week. They come to us like, oh, we have these features that launch in X time. Would you like to try to make something with these features? So it's really nice also to have that kind of relationship with Ultra, and it's perfect for us to work with them. So this is why we decided to partner with Ultra. We had also other and even bigger financial proposition from other blockchain that wanted to have an exclusivity with Kardomance, and for now we didn't accept those propositions and we prefer to launch on Ultra. In the future we plan to be available on cross-chain, but what is important also to say to you is that Ultra is already I don't know if I have the right to say that, so I will not speak too loud if they listen to me. But Ultra plan to have some cross-chain features on the future, and it will come really soon. So it's really perfect on terms of timing. With the integration of Kardomance in Ultra.
Okay, perfect. We have some question about NFT sales, but the main question was can we have more information about the NFT sale happening on Ultra soon? So just to answer you, tomorrow, if you want to have more details about what is to sell on Ultra, the 26th of October.
I put a stop on that because we are not sure that we will publish the video tomorrow about the launch of the NFT sale. So it will come the next week, but as I said, we need to coordinate, I think it's the correct word, to have the same timing basically as the Ultra team to communicate on the NFT sale. And I don't know yet. I've just shoot them an email yesterday, so I don't know if they are ready to start communicate on the launch of the NFT collection. But it will be like Monday or Tuesday, so it will be really soon.
Yeah,
maybe I can.
Yeah, so you will have the information in this video that is coming. So next week, we don't know exactly the day, but you will have all information about what is to sell in the NFT. In the NFT, you will see we prepare pretty crazy stuff, and you will know everything. So we won't really answer it today, and so we will also maybe gain a little bit of time so we can finish before Cyprien is leaving. The raffle is done, so if you want to click on pick a winner, so we will know with the winner, and the winner is Meeple77, who has just won the little healer fan. That can be a big healer fan.
Congrats, Meeple. I don't know if it's the same team as the Penguin Wave because I thought you had the same number at the end of the pseudo, but not. Just Meeple, send us your Discord tag so we can add you on the. Yeah, Yann, perfect. I don't know if you're French. Yann is like Yann Thibaudier, so you have the same name.
Yann is on the Discord server. He joined when we talk about Ultra.
Okay, awesome.
Asking a lot of questions and
So congrats, Yann.
Because he's a player of card game, and he creates some beautiful fan art too in the section fan art. So if you want to watch it sometime, so we can go to eSport, and actually in eSport we will talk about eSport and Guild too, because we received a lot of questions about Guild, so it will be the perfect time to talk about Guild. Just to express the eSport, we received a lot of questions about expectation for eSport and why do we think it's a great game for eSports. So we'll answer that, but we really want our game to be an eSport game that is watched and played, and so maybe Cyprien, you can say what we really expect for the esports.
Yes, esports are really an important aspect of in fact, of our strategy plan, because today the Web3 esport is like nothing. Like there is nothing. There is almost no team of Web3 esport. Almost, I say. There is no big tournament of Web3 esports. So we really want to be on the spotlight on that part with Kardomance, but also with our other games. And this is also for that reason that we recruited Kazewa, who is a former triple French champion on League of Legends, to advise us on the esports strategy that we have currently on Kardomance. So yes, we want to do a lot of esports. It's also my dream. It's the dream of the team to have like a big stadium full of people that are watching a tournament, I don't know, on Rise of Baal or on Kardomance. So yes, we have really big expectation on the esport. We already have planned some esport tournament events for the next year, and maybe for the end of the year, but for smaller events. So yeah, we have big expectation on the esport part, and yeah, we want to make some crazy stuff on that, and also it's not only for the fun, because even if it's a dream for us, it's also of course for economic and marketing reason, that because today on the Web3 there is nothing on the esport and everything is to build, and we want to be on the spotlight and build the esport Web3 yes, with the team.
Yes, so I will continue on the question about esport. Just there is one question at the chat. Have you thought about an easy way to watch a game or play for the streaming? Yes, we are working on it. Of course, we want the games to be cast, to have a complete circuit of tournaments that can be cast with professional caster, and really have a great show. We will cast a lot of tournaments on this game on this channel when the game is launched. We will also publish some replay on our YouTube channel. So we are working on it so we can have a nice tournament mode. And of course, we want it to be not just for player. That is great for player. Of course, you can win reward. It's healthy because you can win some NFTs by playing tournament, but also for viewer and for caster. We want it to be a great show where you can watch everything, you can follow. There is some entertainment because, as we said, it's based on skill, so you can have storytelling about players that can come back if they are really strong. We can follow their stories. And also because there is a lot of replayability and adaptability, it's great to watch, and it's not feeling that you watch always the same game. So we are working on that. We want really this to be a great show, and that you come watch because you want to really watch the fight and follow your best player and everything. And we don't want just this to be for the player to gain some reward. Of course, it will be the case, but not just that. We want it to be a show. And maybe we can continue with
Yann, I think we should launch a raffle if you're ready for that.
Yes, we can launch the next raffle. So basically, the next card we have to win is, I don't remember which one is it, but it's a primal card. It's a rare card also.
I think it's Allegiance to No One, a spell, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, Allegiance to No One is a spell. It's a card that we haven't revealed yet, so it's revealed for today. It's a spell, it's a trap spell actually. Trap spell, when an opponent creatures attacked, you can redirect the attack damage to its controlling player. So it's basically a way for Primal to end the game when there is big creature. For your opponent, you play that, and the first time that he will attack with a creature, he will take the damage in the face and not you. So it can be great to finish your opponent with his own creatures. So of course, so trap spell only work for one creature when it's like that. It means that when the trap spell is activated, after disappear and it go to your graveyard, and and he can attack with the other creature without taking the trap, except if you have another trap set up, of course. So yeah, you can write raffle to try to
Yeah,
win
don't
this
forget
one.
to write raffle on the chat. And yeah, it's left 4 minutes on the timer for this raffle. And we will do the next one directly after that, because I'm sorry guys, I need to go. I have a family dinner tonight and I don't want to be too much late. So yeah, let's take one or two questions on the eSport if there is remaining question on that. And after that, we can talk about the lore if you're ready for that, yeah.
Maybe we can talk in the eSport part a little bit about the guild, because we had a lot of questions about guild in the chat. Like how important are guild to Kardomance, and what way will you support the different guild that support you? So it's a little bit about eSport, because of course guild will participate in eSport, but you can maybe explain the concept of guild and also what they will have for the eSport.
Yeah, we plan a lot of things for guild. We plan to give them content, access to exclusive content. We plan also to help them to grow, so to how to say that, to redirect members to our partner guild, so our official guild, because there will be also an official guild, and it will be, we want it to be a privilege to be an official guild of Kardomance. And for those kind of official guild, we will give them NFT and rewards to make them on tournaments or just on events like a game night for them, their members, where they can win some Kardomance NFT. And something which is important is that we plan monthly tournaments for guild, so with rewards of course. So it will be a guild versus guild tournament with rewards, with sometimes cash prize, not every month, but sometimes on each trimester, I don't know if it's the correct word, but each 3 months there will be a cash prize for this guild versus guild tournaments. And I don't know if we had all other idea for that. I'm not in lead for the guild subject, so I don't have everything in mind for that. But yeah, we plan a lot of things for guild, and we want it to be rewarding and important to be an official guild, sorry. And the last thing we plan is also to help them in terms of business, because we will redistribute also to DAO and to guild leaders a bit of money, like a cashback, when some of their members will buy with the offers we plan for guilds. When they buy with the offers, we do like a cashback for the DAO or for the guild leaders. So it helps us also guild to earn a bit of money, and to motivate their members also to invest in the game and to play the game, of course, because we need of course a lot of players. And in the first time we will target crypto enthusiast people, and not all the gamers, not the Web2 gamers on the launch of the game. It will be a bit later. So yeah, we will need the guild to help us on marketing and to attract players.
Okay, perfect. So I guess we can, if there is no other question on guilds and eSport, I maybe missed some, because with the raffle there is a lot of message going on in the chat. But guild will be a really important aspect of the game, and if you want to create a guild, you should so, and if you want to be part of one, you should too. Will there be a separate section in the game for tournament, or maybe create their own tournament lobby? That's what we like in HearthStone, for example. So it's maybe Cyprien, you want to answer this one? On the game, we will have.
Just first, congrats, not panic. You just won the third NFT card, which is Allegiance to No One. So congrats, mate. Please send us your Discord tag, so we can send you the reward after that. The question was, will there be lobby for tournaments and guild? right?
In-game.
Yeah.
In-game.
In-game.
Directly
Yes.
in the game.
Yes, we plan that, and we are already in discussion with a white label solution to do that. It will not be available at the launch of the game, but of course we want to do that. It will be it will be more easy for everyone to have something like that, and we know it's really important for players to have that kind of feature. So yeah, it's a part of our focus. Don't worry about that.
Perfect. So we will go on to the lore section now, but before we can start the last giveaway, so we will finish in time so Cyprien can go to his dinner. But the last giveaway, it will be for the magic class. It's I don't remember the name of the card right now. Let me see. Yeah, it's a student wizard. So it's a little wizard that can gain +1/+1 each time you cast a spell. He can also become really strong, like the healer fan, because if you cast a lot of spell, he will become like crazy. We didn't reveal yet this card yet because the magic class presentation is coming in 9 days, so really soon. But yeah, it's a pretty good card that can become really strong if you play a spell deck. So like the other time, the raffle has started, and you can just write raffle to try to win this little card. And we can maybe go to the lore section to talk a little bit about the lore before the end of the AMA.
I'm really excited to show you that, guys, and we will reveal the map of the lore. So I will just close our camera so we can see it in big screen, and I let Jan present it, the bit of lore that we have worked on.
Yeah, so perfect. Do we have the map yet? Yes, perfect. So as we said, it's in the world of Amaluria. We are still working on everything. It's one of the first version of the card of the map, but there is more version coming really soon. But we have some specific location already. Amaluria is a world which has been populated by giants before, but now it's not the case anymore. But there is really big creatures, big beasts, and it's a really dangerous world for human. So human, if they want to survive, they have to live in a community. And I will try to present you some area of the map and some of the community, but one of the biggest community of human is in Kardomance, of course, it's the name of the game, that you can see on the west side, west, yeah, maybe, west, east, west, no, east side of the map. I'm really bad with that. Yeah, the east side of the map, you can see on the little island that is that you can communicate with a bridge. There is the city of Kardomance. It's a really big city where there is a big religious part. The guy that rules this city is the Duke, and a lot of inhabitants believe in the one who is an ancestor of the Duke and who is considered as a divinity, really. And it's a big place where you can become rich, where you can do a lot of stuff. But because there is this big religious part, it's also a big place for the virtuous class that we presented with the cleric and everything that live in Kardomance. And it's a big city on the cliff near the ocean, where it's if you are rich, it's really pleasant to live. If you are poor, it's a little bit less pleasant to live, but still better than living in the nature of Amaluria, of course. After that, we have a little bit more on the west. You have the Greenlands, which are relatively peaceful lands. Even if you have some big beasts and creatures, it's the lands where you can find a lot of creatures from the class Primal, for example. And there is some spot on the map where there is human that live together on this place. So yeah, there is a lot of beasts, forest, and it's dangerous, but compared to other parts of Amaluria, it's relatively safe. We can say that. No, the map is for the lore. So as we said, the map is for the lore. So the story of the game for this game, but we want to create a universe. So it's for this game, but also for other games that will come, because we want to create all our games inside the same universe. So we are trying to create a really interesting universe with stories, with a lot of stuff that you can follow, and you can find your main character in one game, but also in another game of our company.
Yes, just on that, we don't want to be too deceptive, guys. Don't expect a metaverse like in 1 year or 2 years. That's not the plan. The idea of this lore, the idea behind this lore, is to yes, have a really strong lore to give people the envy to visit it finally, and of course to create different games that will take place in that lore. So it means that, for instance, on the Desolated Ground, you have a group of people that is called the Scorn. It's really like and really close to Goblin. And those Goblin, the Scorn, will be present, of course, in Kardomance, but they will be also playable in Rise of Baal. So we want to have our game interconnected, and we plan also to expand this lore. And for example, in 2023, we plan a first book of 12 short stories that takes place in the world of Amaloria. It will be a way to tell people, to count people this world finally, and to tell to people some stories that take place and the timeline of this world, which is really interesting, and for which we were working with writers on it. So it's really interesting, it's really complete, and we want to have something really interesting for that. And we also know that Niers and some of our ambassadors that are watching the stream today have access to a bit elements more than everyone else on the lore, and can and will reveal some elements of the lore in the next weeks. So it will be interesting, and don't forget to follow our ambassadors, guys, because it's really a good lore. And if you like the different fantasy license like Game of Thrones, Seigneur des Anneaux, Lord of the Rings, of course, and everything, you will be really, really, really interested by our lore.
Yes, so there is some question in the chat, so I will try to answer them at the same time. Will there be any lore-related events? Of course, we will work on that. We want the lore to be a big part of the game. So we want to have some reviews on the different races. We want to have events based on story, on the lore. And as you have seen, there is also a date on the map. It's when the map has been graphed, but of course we will have story where the world evolve and change over time, because a world is never always the same in reality, but also in fiction. So if I continue a little bit, so someone won the giveaway. Yeah, congratulations to Coco Ringot to win this last giveaway. We will finish a little bit about the lore, and after, if you have more questions, we can try to answer, but really quickly, because Cyprien have to go after that. But just a little bit more about the lore. After the Greenland, you have the Varanus galleries, a little bit at the north. It's like tunnels where humans try to live, so they dig tunnels in the mountain to live and be protected from the creatures outside. But still, sometimes there is troll or ogres or scorn that can enter these galleries and scare a little bit this community of humans. After that, we have some other interesting place. We have, for example, in the center of the map on a small island, we have the Tower of Baal, which is a big tower with a labyrinth outside, where all humans that go in this labyrinth never come back, or if they come back, they completely lose their mind. It's a part where you can find a lot of magic class cards. A little bit more on the south, you have the Necropolis. It's a place which is ruled by Vrishna, and it's a place where people try to control death and chaos. There is different temple in this place, and of course, as you guess, it's where you can find a lot of chaos card living here, of course. And on the left, there is the Desolated Grounds, which is a really dangerous place for human, but you can find other creatures for the ferocious class, for example, such as corn. There is a lot of predators in it, so it's really dangerous for human. And there is some other part, like a desert in the south, Peaks of the Giant in the north, but I don't want you to reveal everything today, just to give you an idea of the lore that we are building, and to maybe make you more hype to know this little story.
Thank you for this teasing, Jan, on the lore. I hope people are hype on the lore. And I have two announcements. Thank you for Phenomen Games for the raid. It was a bit late because the AMA is almost finished. And congrats to, I will try to pronounce it correctly, Coco Ring Gokot. I think I pronounce it correctly. Forgive me if it's not the case, who won the last giveaway of today. And I will need to go, so I will put back the camera, and guys, we can finish this AMA. It was really fun to do it. It was, as I said, our first AMA on Kardomance, and for me the first AMA ever and the first Twitch stream. I hope I wasn't too bad on managing the different scene. And it was really funny to have you guys on the stream today. And thank you for that. Thank you for the people that stayed with us all the time.